G'day everybody. I want to talk about this episode. Watch it and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. When it comes to a girl talking to a mother who's religious about their own Bible, which is not 100% backed as it can be interpreted in so many ways. But they have their interpretation, as there's all these different Catholic religions and slightly differences as they're trying to interpret the same book, right? When it comes to all those people using that book. But they all celebrate in slightly different ways. A little bit like the Hamish. Some have black and white, some have colours, but they're still Hamish, right? They're pretty similar, right? And so when it comes to the girl reading the Bible, she read that when you connect with God or you actually head in the right direction, that you might be able to dance around. You might be able to pick up this feeling and it's magical, right? And you dance and hop around, jump on one foot, as some people might say. Yeah, you can practice that, or you can naturally feel it and become something, can look something or feel something while you're doing it, as long as it feels good to you. And usually if it feels good, it's because it can't be magical, right? More magical things are, as in the boyfriend of your dreams, right? For women, or the girlfriend. They're wearing the best clothes. The more magical it feels, something different, right? You have a feeling, right? Makes you have a good time, right? And that's how I see that interpretation. If you start heading the right direction, that God might give you that energy, that feeling, and ways of thinking as well with that feeling to understand things. And she reads it to the lady in this episode. And she only interprets it what she's grew up to interpret and pretty much believe, like a law. Well, we interpret it this way, it's this way. And if I hear anything, I'm always going to argue first that it's this way. As the ways we interpreted things is to think negative first, which is our way, and don't be outside the box. When you think outside the box, which is more positive, that everything could be something, unless you got the real truth, it's worth talking about. But she doesn't talk to her daughter. She tells her interpretation of their group, of how they see things, as Footloose. That title's got nothing to do with how they see God or representing God. It's a title that they haven't interpreted properly, obviously. Can't understand it yet, and rather call it Footloose. It's a Footloose part. Because it's practicing in their way of interpretation that it's the devil. If you're having fun or flaunting or anything like that, you must be the devil. But it's not true, because we need to flaunt, we need to do these things to feel loved, to feel connected, and how we do it. Because when you do that, that's what you get, true. It's got nothing to do with the devil. But these things that we know that we need and that makes us feel good can be used and abused when it comes to knowledge and information of those things. And to stop them from getting used and abused, they rather go the government trick, an interpretation of the Bible, which tells you just don't do it at all. Because if you're not educated, you might be tricked or become a sex slave. You see? When it comes to those things, flaunting, how do you see it? How do you interpret it? Do you interpret it that, cool, they're doing that? Cool, I like to do that. Cool, I like to connect. Or do you interpret when you see dancing? Cool, I'll do anything to be with that person. That person's cool. Or do you think sexual? When they're dancing, they look sexual, the way they dance, right? And all those kind of things. Sometimes people dance to be sexual. This is why we have sexual dancing, right? But there's plenty of ways to do it. And we do that because it's a way of serenading. Everything has a different way of everything. Serenading, most people believe these days to be the best and to try to get a word out and stuff like that, is through music, because music we love, like sex. Music, because it's also another way that we can be infiltrated and used and abused as we love it, is also classed in these areas as the devil. As if you don't know, you may abuse it, which is true, right? But if you get educated before you get to use these tools, then it can't be that bad. Beforehand, I see their point. That's why sometimes people have kids that don't have phones, don't get to listen to music, don't eat junk food until they understand what the real consequences are, and you know that they do, and it's been time, and they understand, and then you can let them go. That's freedom. Then you let them have chocolate. You can't deny things because it'll eventually happen, like telling someone that's a hot plate. What is hot? Eventually, behind the scenes, shit, that's what hot is. What is junk food? Eventually, behind the scenes, as long as you got wisdom first, you've got a good chance of changing and seeing that point. When you don't have the wisdom, you don't change till it's too late. Forces you at the end, right? But wisdom helps you make the right ways and right ideas to do things. A little bit like I like how the Hamish allow them to have a choice of what they want to be when they hit of age before they come and make a pack. That's a good way. Forcing a pack is not a good way. Forcing a marriage is not a good way. There, just in case, is all right. You see? That's how you get true believers and true ways of things. Otherwise, forcing, how do you know it's true? Anyway, I'm going to let that go. Leave it right there. But when it comes to all that, what do you believe? And let me know in comments. And how could you fix such a thing? Well, I guess in the end, when it comes to all our rules, we can only fix it in the end if it doesn't want to be fixed, because we have free will, is barbaric. And that's what we are. And that's the main rule if you really want to get along and get things right, is to understand that and teach it young. Have a good one and see you later.